This video is made possible by the following sponsors. Make sure to check out their products as well as the rest of my gear in the description below.
Hey guys, Electric Boy here, and welcome back to Assetto Corsa for another video. Now, I was watching the Formula E qualifying earlier at Marrakesh, and I gotta say, I very much enjoyed watching the Gen 2 cars be thrown around a tight street circuit. It just looked fun. So I thought, hell, I want to try that. So I went looking to try and find a Gen 2 Formula E mod, and I found one, as you can see in front of you now. This is the Gen 2 Formula E car by the guys over at ACFL. This Gen 2 car is of course powered by an electric motor, capable of putting out 250 kilowatts of energy, which is around 335 brake horsepower. The car also weighs around 900 kilograms, which is around the same as an LMP1 hybrid car. Of course, the main difference being that this is just entirely powered by electric. There is no ICE at all in this Gen 2 car. Unfortunately, one of the downsides of this car being electric is it has to regenerate a lot of its power under braking. So circuits like Monza and circuits like Spa, for example, where there are a lot of flat out periods, this car wouldn't really make a race distance, so you're kind of confined to the smaller street circuits. In terms of testing this car out, I've decided to go to the full Monaco Grand Prix circuit because there aren't really many Formula E circuits that exist anywhere for any sim. But enough explanation, I'm going to whack on my VR headset and see just what it's like to drive a Gen 2 Formula E car. So here we are then, inside the Gen 2 Formula E car in a very quiet pit lane at Monaco. Of course, no idle, no tick-over noise from this electric motor, so we're just sat here in silence, which is actually a little bit uncomfortable if you ask me. But anyway, let's pop it into first gear and make our way out of the pit lane, and of course immediately we are met with the electric whining sound of the electric motor behind us. And something that I should mention just before we get started, really, because people I think will notice it, is that that big battery icon on the left just seems to be for show. I've never seen it deplete, and I've never actually seen this thing lose energy. I'm not sure if that's a bug, because of course racing these things in real life is all about managing your energy properly, but it seems at the moment you can just drive indefinitely, and I've even put the fuel consumption on just to check it isn't that, but unfortunately nothing seems to have changed that for me. But anyway, I'd expect better given that this is a paid mod. That's why I buy them, so you don't have to. Anyway, let's get back into the car itself. You'll notice I have two forward gears, first and second. And for the majority of the lap, you're going to be staying in first gear. Second gear is really for when you get up above 180, 190 Ks. And given that this car isn't really made for that at the best of times, you don't really see it that often. This circuit here, the actual full Monaco GP circuit, is a bit too long for this car. The Monaco they run in real life is the short version, which cuts out about half the circuit. You kind of need it in this thing, otherwise you end up running out of energy. Braking in this thing is essential for regen. There I went down to neutral because I'm not used to shifting down so little. But anyway, coming up through to back through the first time, you see leaving it in first gear, tip it in on the power. Now, it's also a good idea, I think, to mention these tyres are essentially just road tyres on the car at the moment. So they don't have the most grip in the world. And by road tyres, I mean treaded tyres. There's no semi-slick or slick going on here. These are tyres that I'm pretty sure you can put on your car at home if you want to. But anyway, we're going to start our first flying lap. I'm on the Eco mode. There are three modes for deploy: Eco, Neutral and Max. And right now we're going to be in the, I guess the energy saving mode, which is Eco, and see how fast it is around Monaco. I do have a couple of times in my head to match it against, of course, our 98T, which is pretty much the opposite of this thing, a 1500 horsepower, 2 mile to the gallon flame-spitting F1 car, versus this efficient boy. That did a 124, I think, was my best time round here. Oh, got a bit wide there into the wall. Got to get used to that braking, or rather lack of it. I have no doubt this is going to be a ton slower, but it'll be interesting to see how it does. I think my best F1 car time around here was about a 1:10. So there's another one for you there as well. All right, up into second gear, getting up to about 200 Ks, and although of course the oh god, I've got that wrong. Oh, we made it, don't worry about it, only a slight cut. I was going to say, although the car maybe isn't the most crazy to drive around a circuit like this, it's when you get to this section through here, when this car really comes alive. It's a car which is pretty much about momentum And through those slower sections, you really feel what this car is about. Unfortunately, there aren't many street tracks that I could find anyway. There you go, a bit of a slide as we come on there. And we'll come across the line and see what time that is. But yeah, on the tighter stuff where this car really starts to shine. Anyway, let's pop it up to neutral now. So we're going a bit quicker, a bit more power to those rear wheels. Oh, a big slide there through Sandervoort. So that time was a 1:30.5. So about 6 seconds, I think it is. Oh, it's a 1:20. What was that 98T car? I'll put it up on the screen what that time was around. I could have sworn it was a 24, but that's only 6 seconds off, which is not bad at all, considering that we're going a lot slower around the circuit. It's the torque of this thing. It just accelerates very quickly. You can see there out of the hairpin. Now we've got the power turned up a bit. The car is starting to react a bit more positively to me whacking the throttle. Lots of torque to the back there. The in-game number for torque is 1500 Newton meters, which comes straight away. I have no idea how realistic that is. That sounds like it would be a bit much if you ask me. But it definitely gives the impression of having that instant electric torque when you're coming out of a corner. So up towards the back, brush of the brakes, get it into the apex and miss it entirely like I always do. Flat through the swimming pool. Oh, only just flat though. Starts to wiggle a bit through there. That's neutral, Jimmy. Don't take that. Bit aggressive over the bumps. I can see my time's definitely quicker, about 1.2 seconds quicker at this rate, which isn't bad at all. I can just... Oh, I missed. I missed. No, I just couldn't see the goddamn apex there. Bit foggy in this VR headset again. So that was a 1:29. So now, let's put it up to max. Now we have the complete 250 kilowatts now at our disposal, about 330 horsepower around here. So this is going to be a fun lap. Again, lots of torque, lots and lots of torque now at our disposal, so the rear end's going to get even more skated than before, but you can see this thing is not slow by any stretch of the imagination. It's like, oh, that was a little bit spooky into there. Now the power on the way out and get all sorts of sideways. That was very Formula E, that was. Just about kept it going, and you kind of want to slide it around. It's a lot more fun just to drive this thing from the rear. Of course, it isn't the fast way to drive it. Oh, my battery charge is starting to go down. Hallelujah! We're actually starting to make some dent in it, although I think that's just done on fuel. Who cares anyway? Big brake there into the chicane. Oh, wow! Okay, I'm going to do one more lap after this. This has been a very messy lap so far, but the car is really coming alive on the higher power, really is. And it's a great step forward from the Gen 1 car, which I think had about 50 kilowatts less, but just seemed to be a little bit more sedate. This new car, both in looks and performance, is just a nice step forward, and it's what Formula E, I think, should definitely be aiming for. I think the best thing about the Gen 2 car is it's now able to do a full race distance. It was a bit silly seeing them all chop and change before, but across the line, that was a bit of a quick lap despite all my issues. That was a 1:26.8. Now, I refuse to believe the 98T is that much faster, or that much slower, I should say. We'll look in a second. I need to really get that time on screen for you guys to know what that was. Easy through here, easy. Now downhill. Oh man, bit neater, bit tidier, making a bit of a better job now of actually getting through this circuit without hanging the rear out every corner. This is a fun car to drive. I'm actually really enjoying this. The fact that it's electric doesn't really come into it. It's just in the noise. If anything, the instant torque is actually quite welcome. So having to wait for it at some point in the RPM range. Oh wow, that's definitely the line through there. Front on the way out. We're 4 tenths up on our previous time. In all those front tyres scrubbing there, not quite able to hold the car through that section. I should probably have shifted to second there, running out of gear. Hit second a bit earlier, I think. Just using the gears to slow yourselves down a bit is quite a decent tactic. I think we can even go faster than this. I want to do one more lap because I'm actually enjoying myself right now. Let's be a bit quieter and see if we can get any more time out of it. So that's 1 second faster. That's a 25. This car's quicker than I thought it was. Wow, nice and sliding through T1. That's what this car's about. It's that moment on the apex where you're scrambling for grip on the power, on the slightly less sticky tyres than you're used to. Easy. There you go, nice. Oh, that's a bit. I thought I was a bit too late there into the right hander, but somehow managed to get it stopped. First gear through here. Oh, the slowest part of the circuit. You can hear the tyres scrub. This is me being quieter, by the way. Easy. Nice. Let's just take second early just to make sure we don't hit any sort of RPM limiter there. 240 k's out the tunnel. That is not slow at all. That's about 150 miles per hour there. Keep it in second for here, I think, just to make sure I don't run into the limiter again like I did last lap. The car really moves around a lot. It really does. A bit wide there at the Rasgas. Anthony Nodes. Aim for the apex. Smash the throttle and exit. It's a bit quicker. I was a bit slow towards the end, but the time is going to be a 1:25.6, which is not slow at all. This thing is a lot of fun to drive. I really got to say that. I mean, just scrambling the grip uphill through Sandoval and trying to get out of the slower corners with all that torque going down instantly from these rear tyres, which are, again, just pretty much road tyres. It's a really quite a fun experience. Of course, I can't lie, I miss the noise you get from a conventional car. I miss the engine noise and the fire spitting and the anger of an internal combustion engine. But this is fun to drive, and it's quick, and it's only getting quicker. So really looking forward to see a Big Sim officially release some Formula E Gen 2 content if this mod is anything to go by. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed somewhat of an insight into what it's like to drive a Formula E car. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do much of the regen stuff because it doesn't really exist in this mod, but hopefully with an official release I can really get into what it is to drive a Formula E car. If you enjoyed the video, then please make sure to hit that like button. If you really enjoyed it, hit subscribe to be notified of future videos. And actually, before I go, I'm going to see just how fast that 98T was, because it might have flashed on screen for you a couple of times, but I haven't seen it yet. So 25.6. I'll be right back. So it was actually a 24.6, I think, that I did round here in the 98T at Monaco. So really quite close here in the Formula E car. Though I will say I did use a different version of Monaco, so that is probably going to skew the result. But regardless, a very quick time from the Formula E car. Anyway, guys, take care. Have an awesome day. I'll see you all next time.